Short memory. Nobody has power and will give it to you. If you want a pastor as president, can't get one. The politician is there in Nigeria to steal, to maim, to kill, to remain in power.
I rejected the administrative.
Hello there, a very good evening to you, and welcome to the program. Welcome to the program, Nigeria Sunset J101.9 here in Jos. My name is Ponsak Thanab. J101.9 here in Jos. My name is Ponsak Thanab. It's a beautiful day today. Today is Tuesday, 13th of May, 2025. Feels good to be here. Of course, I have Gilbert here. Good evening, Gilbert, and how's the day? How's it going?
Ponsak, a very good evening to you. I hope you're of those areas, and the roads drones again is a source of concern. And one of the issues that was raised is to the effect that it appears to work when it wants to work, and then when it just goes off, that becomes the end, and anything that people want to have monitored might just not work out. So it means despite government investment, despite government approach, a lot more need to be, especially for those in the security. And this is where we talk about command and control in the security subsector. A lot has to go into it. For a fact, people were quite appreciative that the response of government was top notch. But then a lot more needs to be done in terms of consolidation.
Yeah, well, people would definitely move on. Is one of our traits as human beings that no matter what, we'll always look at I'm more particularly concerned about the children, in the midst of, because education stopped and the kind of bloodshed that these kids have been exposed to. I tell you a story. I think last year or the year before last, places where trauma healing will be. Places where trauma healing will be
conducted.
Especially trauma healing at that impressionable stage of a child. How is he going to grow up and look at his fellow neighbors?
As a whole.
Yeah. Some of them will say, my society doesn't care about me, and some of them will carry hate
and take to crime.
Yeah.
As a result.
Yeah. So. Well, it has been gale of defections. All of the senators in Kebbi State have defected from the ruling. All the PDP saying that its presidential candidate should come from the north. I mean, that is the very presidential candidate should come from the north. I mean, that is the very, very. If you listen to the media chat of former Governor Nyesom Wike, now Minister of the FCT, he clearly said that if his party, the PDP, produces presidential candidates from the north in 2027, the PDP is not always going to be hard for them to win. And I do think that he understands, he has done the analysis, he knows, some of the loopholes.
Details.
Yeah. But like yesterday, we mentioned the Asaba Declaration. Ifeanyi Okowa, the rise. Look at they've already jumped ship. And do you think the governors in the south will still hold, or the southern politicians will still hold to that Asaba Declaration?
And before coming up with that, however, if you're talking about southern presidency again, can you microzone? That is the language that Nyesom Wike doesn't want to hear. If they say microzone to the southeast, that was the position of Atiku Abubakar, of course, in 2023.
2019.
Yeah. And as well as the last election, changed through.
Yeah.
And Wike kicked against it. And that was the origin of everything we're seeing right now.
Well, we're going to play this since that this has been rumored to join the ruling party. The governor of Akwa Ibom already is saying that I do not know whether I'll be in the PDP or APC tomorrow. Maybe... I'm not going to say what I want to say, but let's play this instead. Yeah, well, glad you're still here. The program is Nigeria Sunset on J101.9 here in Jos. I'm Ponsak Thanab.
I am Gilbert Joseph.
That was FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. We have with us Barrister Chasil Drenkard is here, and all people, all of these defections is gets to us one thing: people are wanting to secure a second term in office. People are thinking of their political future. Would you like to talk to us along those lines and this whole notion? Talk to us along this, and what does it? Do you think it poses any threat to democracy that one party? All the political classes are trooping, and Goodluck Jonathan has openly criticized President Tinubu, saying that you cannot manipulate Nigeria into a one-party state.
To put its house in order.
with the looming threats and let me use the word political insecurity that is bedeviling the PDP, you would certainly expect such defections. By the way, what is attractive about the APC? That the APC has been so liberal, particularly in terms of condoning corruption. Never find one clean one.
What do you mean? You need to explain further, please. Yeah.
98% of politicians in this country are. If you get to the National Assembly, for instance, and you know the workings of the National Assembly, you know that if you must clean that place allocated, yet services are not rendered and contractors are not even being paid. So you wonder, on the whole, what is really happening. Limit to their reach. They only enter the strong room in their homes, bring out money, and dispense whatever they want to dispense. So the truth of the matter is that an area that we need to get satisfied with portends on the development and well-being of citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If that issue is not critically addressed, corruption would certainly hold sway in the society. And there is nothing that we can do about it. The poor man on the street cannot access justice because good lawyers see it even happening in my lifetime.
Let's talk about this whole issue of 2027, and in fact, Atiku together with some heavyweights met with former president. Talk to us about Governor.
Earlier on, they had gotten it wrong. From the same party, they lost governors, if you recall, Amechi and the rest.
Yeah.
They defected, went and formed a political an alliance and brought about presidency, come what may. So on this note, I find submissions of Nyesom Wike has been very apt and straightforward. Any attempt by a northerner to insist on contesting for the presidency, particularly in the PDP,
It is Drunkard. Who do you consider a top-level southern politician today that can contest the presidency with Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
We can return back to our tradition. Nigerians, by way of election, had never had a money back elected as president, except for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Shagari was not a money back. Buhari was not a money back.
Because he couldn't get the numbers. I think over and above everything, it's about those number of delegate votes that he feels.
Now, if the PDP was calculative enough, let us tell ourselves the gospel truth. Between Nyesom Wike and Ifeanyi Okowa, who would have garnered more votes to the PDP?
Of course, Nyesom Wike.
So why did we have Ifeanyi Okowa in the first place? It is the innate betrayal that is in a DNA of average politicians. Lying, betrayals, backbiting, uncomfortably worse than it was in 2023. Because the truth of the matter is that they better give that ticket to a southerner. 31.
Present another
northerner.
I mean, that's his argument.
Okay, look
to collect money and return without minding whether without minding the prospects of their political parties. Now, how many of the delegates that went and voted for Atiku collected his money left, right, and center? How many of them still have the money today? But look at what it has cost. Whether you like Asiwaju or not, the only time I will lose confidence in the electorate in this country, it's when all the PVCs are gathered and given to any particular politician. I have my PVC, and I am a committed voter. So also is my household. Nobody tells me how much I fuel my car on a daily basis and what the difference is. If I don't see a convincing sign, I don't see an unknown or a wrong, to me, a wrong choice, and hazard another 8 years. So what I am saying simply is that the opposition must see political rallies and dish out their manifestos for people to see, for people to read through, and for people to decide. I want to assure you, I had been an electoral commissioner. Election day, where some riffraffs would want to buy the ballot and buy the votes.
Yeah.
That is why there is a law on vote buying.
Mr. Chasil Drankad, and we're looking at the PDP and all of.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell us.
This is Solomon. It's 8 years. Obasanjo succeeded is 8 years. A lot of them. So when they enter, they will have to succeed their 8 years. So the Northerners don't forget about making way to succeed their 8 years. Unless Tinubu decided that I don't want to contest, let somebody from the Southern contest. And
presidents, they are coming from the north. And here from north, I'm not seeing what the Northern leaders or presidents they are doing for north. Me, I'm Alice. Following.
Refuse to gather the confidence, not sacking Uche, and Uche is now totally now getting the threat now. If now they want to play with the candidate or the candidate that is going to come to PDP or whether the PDP or whether any other party, let me tell you, at the same time, that party will still have problems. And the court, after the election, the court will use it and even confirm the present president because he's the minister. After the election of the 2027, the Uche will come back. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, thank you, Gilbert.
Yeah, that's hard to go to South after our initial 4 years, no matter how sweet the story about the competence of the Southern candidate is. But we want them to take what we can't take. I don't think it's fair. I may have disagreements with Wike on other topic, the national chairman of the party from the North, according to them. It's not a big deal if it's left for them to do the needful or amend the constitution in order to avert unnecessary legal tussles. David Mark Sambo says, the FCT minister suggested right that with vision, not just regional tag. Stanley SC says, whoever PDP or any party will present, if there is no coalition, APC will still win the 2027 presidential election. Sandy Mwale says, yes, I agree with him because the turn is for South. I really supported Wike and basis. In fact, our political space is constantly chaotic. Well, just imagine Wike, despite his anti-party activities, still has
The suspect, the one you think would steal it. Certainly, certainly it will remain safe there. So like I said, call Wike, okay. Okay, let power come to the South, okay. Let power come to the South, okay. Who in the South? There is Asiwaju in APC. Who else in the PDP? It's politics.
Wow.
Now people are saying